Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show. The Tusculum Pioneers lead Charleston by a score of 21-6. As we start the fourth quarter, Coach, you've got your all-conference guy coming out getting set to kick a field goal from 40 yards, where last year he was perfect, 7 for 7.
Well, I wasn't worried about Gareth as much as I was worried about everything else that's going on. They almost got to it coming off the corner a few times, and Gareth just has kicked the ball so well. I think this one landed up there on the track of at the baseball stadium. He just busted it. It was right down the middle, great from 40, good snap from Schuyler, good hold from Poozer, and great job protecting up front, and he made it look easy.
8 plays, 57 yards, 2 minutes, 37 seconds off the clock from the third quarter to the start of the fourth quarter. Kicking it away to Charleston, and not a bad return here. Once again, Julian Johnson, 20 yards, but you see Becton, you see Ashby, and they do get a penalty for a hold that took them back. And then they had this quarterback in the first half somewhat, just a little bit of a change in Maurice Leak, and this is a young man that kind of just added a little different dimension to this entire game.
I actually told DeMayo, their head football coach, that I figured we'd see one of their true freshman quarterbacks come in today, and I didn't know if it was going to be a true freshman or it was going to be somebody that was different than Wilson. Wilson's more of a thrower, big, strong, and physical quarterback, and what they like to do is more of a scat back type back there at quarterback, and that's exactly what happened when they brought this number 12 in the ball game.
Yeah, it didn't matter. Boomer Brown was going to get to the quarterback. He got to him a couple of times. He really frustrated him as we get a close-up view of Boomer, and just the speed it takes to get to a quarterback with this type of speed.
Great effort there by Matthias, number 35, getting him on the ground. Phenomenal job. You see number 91, Big Nick Smith, getting in on the play. That's the freshman from Seymour. So a lot of new faces, a lot of big plays. Best thing is we came out with a victory.
And what you don't see is they scored a touchdown late in the game. You had a lot of guys in there on that series. We're going to go over the numbers. I think 150 yards of what they gained offensively in the first drive and the last drive of the game.
That was the only 2 drives of the day that they really had any type of success. And the first drive was the big play on the first snap, the reverse for 50-some yards. And then the last drive, we had, I think, eight freshmen in the ball game at different times trying to stop their offense. And they were trying to score. They kept calling timeout, and can't blame them. They wanted to get points on the board. And it wasn't as big a concern being up 24-6 whether they were going to score or not. So we did our part, had a great day, wonderful atmosphere, great by our pep band and David Price being there, delivering something completely different than we have at Tusculum College, and exciting for everyone that was associated, and a great win for our program.
Pioneers win the game 24-12 against Charleston. The series even at 2 apiece. Not scheduled to play each other in the future just yet, but always a wonderful and entertaining system when it's Coach DeBusk and also Coach DeMayo for Charleston. Pioneers win 24-12, 1-0 on the season. With the victory, Coach Frankie DeBusk also ties Coach Woody Fish for 3rd all-time and most wins in a career in the South Atlantic Conference. When we come back, we'll meet our Players of the Week and have your first game statistical breakdown. That's right after this when the Frankie DeBusk Show continues.
Andrew Johnson Bank was founded on conservative banking principles. Over the last 30 years, they have steadily built their balance sheet and increased capital by following prudent lending principles and avoiding risky investments. In uncertain times, you can continue to count on Andrew Johnson Bank, your locally owned community bank. A strong heritage, a stronger future. Andrew Johnson Bank, member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show. The Tusculum Pioneers knock off Charleston 24-12. After the game, we caught up with Bo Cordell.
Bo, today, 318 yards passing for you. Last year against Charleston, you had to throw a ball a lot. I think 66, 67 attempts. Today, 43 attempts. Efficient offense, or were you pleased?
No, I mean, we were definitely efficient. I think we had a lot of rushing yards this year, too, and I know against Charleston we were negative. I probably had almost negative 100 last year, but we were definitely efficient. We had a couple drives where we moved the ball real well, but other than that, we stalled out a couple times. 24 is not what we need to score against them, but we came out with a W, and that feels really, really good.
Another stat outside of a W, 0, and that was 0 times you hit the deck for being sacked. You might have got hit a couple of times today, but we'll talk about the offensive line.
The offensive line played great. They kept telling me all week they were going to get me, they wouldn't sack me and all that stuff, and they kept their word on that. They touched me a few times, but I mean that's football. They blitz. Sometimes they hit the right hole, but they never sacked me. Last year it seemed like they had a lot of sacks against me, but our offensive line did a great job today.
I like what Brian Marshall brought to the table, Blakely brought to the table, Fred Jones in the second half, what he brought to the table, and Bo Cordell running the football today.
I know it's different, isn't it? But I worked on the quickness a little bit this offseason. Coach Kolb said, you know, when you see a lane, just run. You tuck it, pick up 2, 3, 4, 5 yards, and just take what they give you.
Is it more difficult coming in here in this home opener? Last year, Offensive Freshman of the Year in the South Atlantic Conference. Do you have any more added pressure to you entering today's game?
I really don't think so. I had a lot of pressure last year as a freshman, but you know, we have a lot of senior leaders on the team, Zach Norman, Mason Fowler, that have really taken a lot of leadership role, and I really don't have to do that much. So they've done a great job with that, taking a lot of the pressure off my shoulders.
What is it like when you have a 55-yard run on their opening possession and then all of a sudden they score a touchdown? What does that do to you as a team?
Well, let me tell you, last year we would have folded. It seemed like last year we were 14, 21 down every drive. But, with the way we've done in fall camp and spring, we did a great job. No matter what, we were down by 21, 28 points. We knew we were going to come back and win the football game and score points on offense.
1-0. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Feels good.
Bo Cordell.
It's time now to take a look at our Players of the Week. We'll start on offense, where the Pioneers named 2 Offensive Players of the Week. On the offensive line, Hannibal Ruiz, a senior out of Atlanta, Georgia, from Creekside High School, had 6-7 knockdowns in the football game. Rashad Carter, a junior from Stone Mountain, Georgia, Stevenson High School, a preseason all-conference selection, 11 receptions, a career-best 166 yards receiving, a touchdown, and a long of 49. Our Defensive Player of the Week, Matthias Boomer Brown, the junior out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Monarch High School, finished with a team-best 15 tackles, including 1 behind the line of scrimmage. Our Special Teams Players of the Week, Xavion Smith, true freshman from Anderson, South Carolina, from Westside High School, finishing with 2 tackles on special teams. And Jonathan Lyons, as you'll see as we go to break coming up, with one of the best hits of the day on punt return. Jonathan Lyons, the junior from Hampton, Tennessee, Hampton High School, finishing with 1 tackle on special teams. The Tusculum Pioneers call of the game from radio. What else? Rashad Carter, the human highlight reel.
Cordell, little pump fake, trying to go into the end zone for Carter. One-handed catch. He held it. He controlled it. Touchdown, Pioneers! Unbelievable! Rashad Carter, the human highlight reel, strikes again.
And now let's take a look at the numbers for the Tusculum Pioneers in the game. They do finish with 318 yards passing. Charleston with 149 yards passing. For the Pioneers, 69 plays, 391 yards of offense. Total offense for Charleston, 71 plays, 305, and again, much of that on the first drive of the game and the very last drive of the game. Pioneers last year were last in time of possession, still about 26 minutes a game. On the day, 28 minutes, 17 seconds. Charleston held the ball for 31 minutes and 34 seconds. Third down's not bad, 5 of 15, 6 of 17 for Charleston, but I know the Pioneers would like for that to be better. My key stat, leading rusher, Bo Cordell.
You sure that's correct?
Yes, I think.
I don't know if we didn't give it to the other guys enough or if Bo really did that well, but what we're expecting him to do with the football in his hands, he really executed very, very well for us. And again, for us to be what we want to be on offense, he's got to do more than throw the football and execute, and he did that on Saturday. Okay,
you win. Finley next, another team. We're going up to Ohio. It's a 449-mile trek, I think the 7th longest in school history. New for us, going to have very similar feel. We're going to have black and white and orange up there. I believe that's their school colors as well. What do you know about Finley?
I actually spoke to their assistant AD this morning to learn a little bit about Finley and the area and where we're going. And we've exchanged films and we've watched them. I do know that they're big and they're a very, very well coached football team. I've been really impressed with how disciplined they play the game. And I think Mark Kolb on my staff said it the best. They are the Big Ten of Division II. They got a lot of big, strong linebackers. Athletically, I don't know if they're going to be as athletic as some of the teams we play, but they sure are very well coached. And they're starting a true freshman quarterback from Tennessee as we're starting a sophomore quarterback from Ohio. So it should be an interesting challenge as we make this trek.
First ever meeting between Tusculum and Finley, as well as the Pioneers will play on Saturday. Kickoff will be at noon. You can always follow the Pioneers on radio and online through TusculumPioneers.com or locally in Greenville at 1450 WSMG. Now you can follow Tusculum football on Facebook. Just search Facebook.com, search Pioneer Sports Network, and give your insight during the game as well. That's our time for this week. Again, we're back again next week with more of the Frankie DeBusk TV show. Thanks for your patience and thanks for tuning in. For Coach Frankie DeBusk, I'm Brian Stayton. Until next week, have a great week.
This has been the Frankie DeBusk Show with head coach Frankie DeBusk. The Frankie DeBusk Show, featuring coaches' interviews, player spotlights, highlights, and statistical breakdowns.
Brought to you in part by Greenville Federal Bank, celebrating 50 years serving Greenville and Greene County. Your Greenville Light and Power System. Andrew Johnson Bank, member FDIC. Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. And by Creekside Market, with 3 locations in Greene County.
The Frankie DeBusk Show is a special presentation of the Pioneer Sports Network.